Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the online workshop organized by Skillveda. Skillveda is your partner in skill development, offering a wide range of webinars, offline workshop, short-term courses, and training programs designed to help you to unlock your potential and achieve your career goals. We are thrilled to have you join us for this exciting learning journey. A special welcome to our esteemed trainer, Ms. Lipika Jasuja, a CBSE resource person and an educator with a passion for education and teacher trainings to share her knowledge and insight. Yeah, welcome, Ms. Lipika.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, good evening, everyone. There are so many messages I'm getting in the message chat box also. So, good evening, everyone. I am here to not to teach you any NEP or National Education Policy. We are already aware of it. We are just going to revise what is given in National Education Policy, right? So, national education policy has become an important and integral part in our education system now, right? We cannot think our education, our lectures, our books, our school, our classroom without NEP, right? NEP is such an integral part now in our life. So, why NEP? Why it has been introduced? What is the need of NEP? Already we had NPE. So, why this NEP has come in 22? What were the changes made? So, today we are going to learn it. I would request everyone to make the notes if they want it, because there are key things that we are going to learn in this session that will be really helpful to you during your teaching experience, right? So first thing, that what was the need of NEP? Why it is given NEP? Why it is required? Because this was a statement given on the University Gate of South Africa. What it is written that for destroying any nation, you do not require the use of atomic bombs or the use of long range missiles. You just require what you require, you just low down the quality of the education, right? Don't give the education to anybody, and the nation is already dropping, right? Dropping off. So this is the need. That was the need of NEP started, right? Because our growth was curtaining down and down, right? Everything was, we were losing everything. So there was a need to bring the changes in our national education policy, right? So what we happened is, after seeing all the loopholes, what is to be done, what is the need of the hour, what is to be required, all these things were done, and then the NEP has come into existence, right? So this was a very beautiful quote that was written. Patients die at the hands of such doctors. Buildings collapse at the hands of such engineers. Money is lost at the hand of such economists and accountants. Humanity dies at the hands of such religious scholars. Justice is lost at the hands of such judges. The collapse of education is the collapse of the nation. So, with this thought, right, kept in mind, the national education policy came into existence. First of all, we have to understand what is an education policy. What is a policy? Every school also has a policy, like the teachers have to report at this time in the school, the children should be in such uniform, these types of books should be used, this fee for policy should be used, transport policy should be used. So everywhere we are following the policies, the rules and regulations, right, Purvi ma'am? We are using the rules and regulations, right? So what are the rules and regulations that will be, that come into existence to make the education system a better one? So that is an education policy. And education policy doesn't mean that every school will have a different education policy. Education policy here means world nationwide, one education policy will be used. Like what will be the the structure for the 3 to 5 classroom, what will be for the primary, what will be for the middle, what will be for the secondary, senior secondary. And national education policy is just not related to the school system. It is also related to your higher education also, college education also. And it has just not to do with the students. It has to do with the teachers also, it has to do with the school also, management also, and everything. So the rules and regulation that governs the operation of the education system, that why it is known as the education policy. So what do we think, right? If we are not having any education policy, let's say if we do not have any policy in the school, what will happen? Just send me the messages in the chat box. What will happen if there will be no policy in the school? If we will not be having any system in the school, what will happen? Right? There will not be any. What will happen? Just send me the messages. If there will be no policy in the school, no rules and regulation in the school, everybody will be doing what they wish to do. No discipline. Perfect. There will be no discipline, right? Nothing will be organized. You don't know what will happen first and what will come next, right? Everybody will be following their own pattern, right? So this is what will happen. So that's why there is an urge of, a national education policy. So when the national education policy, I mean, it came into the mind of the higher authorities, right? And why, when a national education policy was, I mean, they were drafting it. What do you think? Only the educationalists will be sitting? No. There will be the political background people. There will be the educationalists, scientists, inventors, right? Everybody sit together. They give their points, and then the drafting happens. And there are many pilot projects also that takes place. uh, I got a message. I hope everybody can see, listen to me, can hear me. Am I audible? Okay, fine, fine. Um, so it is. There are many pilot projects that were made. It is just not a one-day thing. Pilot projects made. They were implemented in some government schools, private schools, and then the things came into existence. So, what were the notable observations made by the Supreme Court of India? That today's education failed to reform the human behavior. And with the increase in the literacy level, there is a decline in the human values in the society. Earlier, when I used to be in the school, I'm talking about 2008, before 2008 time. So we used to have some moral values, chapters or moral values books, right? And we have moral values lessons also, right? Classes also happen. But now after that, it started slowly and started declining only. So as the Supreme Court of India that has noticed that there is a decline, there are the changes in the human behavior now, and there is a decline in the values in our society. So what came into existence? What they thought of, there should be the change in the education system now. It should be changed. Why? Because we are living in the world of globalization, right? We cannot think that we will work in isolation, just that my country will work and I will not see other countries, right? So what happened is to bring your education at the global level and not forgetting your values also, that made to think, right, that we should change our education policy. But obviously, whenever we put something across, we bring something. What happened? What happened? There are always some obstacles. What are the obstacles that were there, that were coming, right? When the educationalists and the political background people and the high minds, right? They were thinking, they were drafting the national education policy. So, what were the obstacles they were facing, right? They were the 19th century mindset, they were the 20th century process, and they were the 20th century, 21st century's needs were there. We had the, we had the faculty available, but they were not qualified. They were not aware of their roles, what to be done, right? There were also there were also political interference, that some political party wanted, okay, this to be done, another political party were boycotting those things. People wanted, we wanted to capture the global talent, but we couldn't find, we were not having the ways or means to find the global talent. They were not inclusive culture, right? Though people who were having the special need, they were kept aside, they were not included in the system, and there were many government regulations also, they were there. So these were the obstacles they were coming. But government, what happened? Although it was the collaborative efforts of all the higher authorities and high minds, what they have, national education policy came into existence. It came into 2022. It wanted to make India a global superpower. They wanted to put India on at the top, as we always dream of becoming the global power. We wanted to be the world power. So with this education policy, they thought they're thinking, they're still thinking, because national education policy has been implemented, but not as they were thinking of, right? Because there is no such good awareness given in the society. So we wanted to make the people future ready. If they cannot get, a very good package or the salary, at least they can live their livelihood. And other things, that there should be the multidisciplinary approach, there should be the holistic development of the child, right? Now, first education policy that came with the name NPE. Please focus on this word NPE. It's not NEP. It was NPE 1986. The name of the policy was National Policy on Education. What was the aim of this national policy on education? Is right to education, that everybody should get the education. But when we came across in these 20s, 20 and 21st century, I mean, the government sees that everybody is getting the education. Like even now, the low poverty line people are also sending their children to the government schools. So education everybody is getting. But what happened? The quality education is still lagging. So then that's what came is NEP. Now the change name is NEP, National Education Policy 2020. The aim of this policy is just not the right to education, but also the quality education, right? So this is the major difference that you should know. Now I've come, this is actually the summary of the entire NEP. What is given in NEP is this entire slide speaks about. It's universal access from pre-primary to school to grade 12. What used to happen earlier? I hope you remember earlier, even we used to send our kids to those play schools that were not registered, right? I hope you can raise your hand if you have sent your children to the play schools that are not registered, just to make your child sit there कि उसको बैठना आना चाहिए बस, the child अगर उसको कुछ पढ़ाया नहीं जा रहा, that is also fine. That was our motive earlier. We were also sending the people who couldn't afford the higher fees. They were sending them to the anganwadis, right? And anganwadis, what happened? Bal vatikas, right? We were sending. But now what happened is that primary area, that PP1, PP2, PP3, or you can talk about nursery or KG, that is also taken as the part of the curriculum. They have a curriculum set now by the government. They are actually, what government says, what NEP says, that they are also the integral part. Actually, they are the most important part. If what do we say? If the root is not strong, how will you think of the tree? The tree will fall down, right? The root should be strong. So they say that focus on those such ages, these early ages. We think about the age of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. They are the most crucial age. This is the most crucial age, not the age we focus on 11th and 12th class. We focus, okay, go for 11th and 12th class. There you will, the child has to score higher. But the child has not studied so nicely in, the primary time or the middle school. So what they say is that you have to, the children should be focused. The education should be focused at that time for the students. Early childhood care education. Then we have multilingualism and the power of language. We are living in the world of globalization, but what happened is we have forgotten our roots. We have forgotten our mother tongue. We have forgotten our local language. We are focusing more on the English language and other foreign languages, right? So what NEP says, we should think of English. We should focus on the other foreign languages also, but we should not forget our roots, our language, our regional languages as well. Then we have National Professional Standards for Teacher, NPST. What is that? For this, CBSE and other schools are also focusing a lot. What they are doing, just go do for the compulsory trainings, right? You have to complete these many hours. Even the schools are also organizing, and this is also the training that you are doing right now. That is also the part of the, professional standard for the teachers, right? So this is mandatory and given in NEP only, that if the teachers are not updated, how they are going to keep their children or their students updated? So that is what is the need of the hour now. Equitable and inclusive education. Yeah, I agree with you that webinars, workshop 50 hours, 25 hours, the CBPs 25 hours, the different in-house and the trainings that you are doing right now. So in equitable and inclusive education, earlier the students with a special need, they were kept aside. They had a different school, but now what NEP says, they should be the part of this, education. They should be going to, they should be the get the chance to be in the normal schooling. They should not be kept aside. They should be given a chance to sit with the normal students. Then it is standard setting and accreditation for the school education. We have the Parak test also happens in all the CBSE schools. What happened? That one exam for grade 5 and 8 is conducted to check what is the level of the students. Right? So, SAFL exam. Sorry, you are correct, ma'am. SAFL exam is conducted. So, for 5th and grade students, what happened in such exams? Right? This is a national exam that is conducted, and that checks what is the level of the students in the school and where school stands. Exposure of to the vocational education. Can anybody send me the message? I mean, can you write what is the idea of keeping the vocational education in the NEP? What is why it is required? Why vocational education should be there in the our system? Yeah, life skills, but why it should be there? I mean, what the people are going to learn with it, what the students are going to learn, what if we are going to, yeah, holistic development. What will happen if we'll be teaching them carpentry, we'll be teaching them pottery, we'll be teaching them the other things? What will happen with that? If anybody would like to add on to it.
Yes, Uttopaji, you want to say something?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I wanted to say that vocational education is important because it helps the children to choose their profession, and it also helps in career counseling in the later
Yes,
stages. So that's
yes.
why I think it is very, very important for students to discover their interest.
Yes, perfect, ma'am. Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. This is the apt answer for it. And add on to it, if I tell you, if they learn these things, if they learn these skills also, like the carpentry or the electrician part or any other thing, they get to respect the other profession as well. They will not be thinking that this profession is a, what is this profession? I mean, they are just the carpenters. They will have the respect for that profession also, right? Now this is what our children were missing in. They were not thinking. They were thinking, "Oh, this is a potter only, na." I mean, this is not meant for us, right? So they are not only making them job ready for with these things, but also with other. I mean, they get to respect their and other professions as well. And the reforms in the assessment. Here we have the holistic progress cards also being introduced nowadays. What happened in those holistic progress card? As the name suggests, holistic means the overall development of the child, not only checking their marks, but also seeing, okay, I mean, what happened, how what the child is doing in the sports, what the child is doing in the social area, is the child being social or not, right? What the child, how the child is taking the interest in the art, how the child is coping up with the other students in the class. So all these things happens comes with the assessment one. And assessment can happen not only once, they should be happening every day. The everyday teacher and the subject teacher should be having a check on the children. Okay, the child, this child needs improvement. Okay, the another month, has the child improved or not? So all these things to be jotted down on the progress card. Now we are coming on to the what is a vision. We have already studied what are the obstacles they came, what is the need, but what is a vision now? An education system that contributes to an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education. We have to compete with the outside world as well. So we cannot just say that I will be, I mean, setting myself in the sitting in the four walls, and I will not be moving out of it. We have to be the global citizen. So we should be competing with this high quality education system. Developing deep sense of respect towards fundamental rights, duties, constitutional values, conscious awareness of roles and responsibilities. Even if you talk to me, I'm not aware of all the fundamental rights duties, right? So as our kids also nowadays, they are also not aware of all the fundamental rights duties. Although we give them, we take their tests, we put them in these exams, but still they forget it. So it should not be the part of learning, it should be the part of their daily thing. What are their rights, what are their duties? They forget their duties. So all of these things should be taken up with the NEP 2020. Nurturing skills, values that further support the human rights. SDG. SDG is what? Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable Development Goals talk about what? They talk about your environment. What they talk about else? They talk about. Can you please jot down what they talk about? Sustainable Development Goals. And how many goals are there? Who can, I
17.
mean,
17.
17. And what happened under these goals?
So
I
there are
just
different issues. There are different issues on the global level, at the global level, which are taken up. For example, gender equality and no wastage of food.
poverty.
Then poverty, yes,
Yes.
conservation of energy, clean
Yes.
cities. That is what.
Yes. So all these things are also important now. The kids are not aware of it. How we are going to get them aware of it with this NEP only? Right? And becoming a global citizen, as I'm saying it from the beginning only, becoming a global citizen is very important. But global citizen doesn't mean that they are forgetting their rules and regulations, they are forgetting their rights and duties, they are forgetting their country, they are forgetting their language, they are forgetting those poverty and these SDG goals. They should be keeping it in mind and move further with it. So already we have discussed about it. These are the highlights of NEP 2020. NCERT will develop national curricular and pedagogical framework for early childhood care and education for children up to the age of 8 years. 8 years means we are talking here up till the grade 2. A national book promotion policy is to be formulated. All students will take school examinations in grade 3, 5, and 8 will be conducted by appropriate authority, and there should be the board exams for grade 10th and 12th that will be continued. Earlier we were listening that there will be no exams in grade 10, only the direct board exam will happen in 12th. But now, if you must have heard, there are twice the board exam for grade 10, right? So all these changes are coming regularly in our system. Now, this slide is very important for everyone to understand. This is the major and more integral part of NEP. Earlier, we were leaving this 3 to age 8 group. We were leaving this. Now, our education system says we have earlier 10 plus 2 education system. Now we have 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 education system. 5 means here that PP is 3 years plus first and second. Then we have third, fourth, fifth in age of 8 to 11, and then in 8 to then 8, then 11 to 14 is your 6, 7, and 8, and then your 9, 10th, 11, 12 comes in the age group of 10, 14 to 18. This is how it is divided now. And this is very important for you all to understand. Earlier, we were skipping these age group of 3 to 8 years. Now, this is the part of the curriculum. This is the part of school education. Now, you cannot say that ठीक है कहीं से भी करा लेते हैं, primary the PPs, we can do it from anywhere. No, it should be registered, and do it with the registered centers or schools only. So, our existing, as I have already spoken about it, our existing academic system was 10 plus 2, but now the system is 3 plus 2, or you can say 5. It is all taken 5. That is a foundational stage, plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. 5 is taken as like Anganwadis, preschool, or Balvatikas. Then again, class 1 and 2 for 2 years. Then class 3, 4, 5 is for 3 years. Class 6, 7, 8 for 3 years. And the next 4 is class 9, 10th, 11, 12th. So now, how to teach in these divided structure now? At the foundation stage, that means I'm talking about pre-primary, primary, and class 1, 2. activity based learning, right? There should be all the numeracy and literacy should be taught, and it should be the activity based learning only. What is the preparatory stage? Preparatory stage talks about grade 3, 4, 5. It should always have play way and discovery method and interactive learning, it should be. Then the middle stage says experiential learning and introduction to coding, it should be there. And the secondary stage, it should be the multidisciplinary study, greater critical thinking flexibility, and varied choices of the subjects. I want to ask you people if you have any knowledge about varied choices of subjects. What do you mean by varied choices of subjects for the secondary level? I'm here talking about the 11th and 12th class now, senior secondary. Can you please, anybody can participate into it? You can tell me what is varied choices of subjects?
Madam, hello, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Choices of subject means prior when we are studying at that time, suppose we are choosing the stream, science stream, commerce stream, art stream. But
Yeah.
one example I want to tell you that suppose my favorite subject is maths,
Mm-hmm.
but other maths maths will be coming in science stream,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't like other subjects of science,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't choose science.
Mm-hmm.
But here in NEP, it tells that with the any you can choose any stream with the your मतलब बोलते हैं ना कि अपने फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट के साथ
Yes,
आप वो
yes, yes, yes. Perfect, ma'am. You're absolutely right. Rightly said. Earlier, we were not given any choice. Like if there were streams, there was a commerce stream, there was a medical stream, there was a non-medical stream, there was a humanities stream. Earlier, it was divided like this. But now it is no more like this. You have the subject choices. If you feel like you want to study economics plus maths plus any music subject, you can go with it. There is no harm into it, and nobody is going to stop you in doing it. Psychology plus music plus maths plus economics, you can choose now. Whatever are your interest areas now, you may choose it. There is no restriction of going in one stream only. Like science ke saath aapko, you have to study science only, all the subjects of science like chemistry, physics, biology and maths and all. So this is the choice that has been given, and this is also very important and vital. Because why I feel like it is very vital and important, because now we are not saying there are specific jobs that everybody can be an engineer, everybody can be a doctor, or everybody can. There are multiple job streams nowadays. Multiple. Even what we have not never thought of, such types of jobs are also there in the society, right? And they don't know these times, humanities and those streams. They need some specific focus, right, on some specific subjects. So why not to allow the children to choose those subjects in grade 11th and 12th only? Right, because what they think of, they want to go into that direction only. So this is the liberty given by NEP. Now what is universal access to ECCE, right? Early childhood care, so what is this? As we have divided ECCE in 3 to 6 years, and 6 to 8 is 1 to 1 for 1 to 2, I mean the class 1 to 2 in the primary. Now, NEP composition is there with school education, higher education, other key areas of focus, and making it happen. What is there? What is the motive of the school education, first of all? Why we send our children to school, or why we have school education? Can you please, anybody, raise your hand and tell me what is the need of the school education? Why the children cannot learn everything at home? We tell them that their home is the first school. So what happened? Why they cannot learn everything at home? Who will tell me?
Ma'am, may I?
Yeah, sir, please.
Thank you. Ma'am, actually, as you asked, so the aim of school education is to develop a child's overall personality, like mentally, physically, emotionally, and socially, right? And
Yeah.
it helps the students gain knowledge, build skills, and learning values and become a responsible citizen of our country.
Yes.
And school education prepares children for life by teaching them how to think, solve problems, communicate, and live in harmony with others, right? And as well as children can learn many things at home, but not everything. School
Every.
provides a structural environment
Yes.
to students, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So the word you use, sir, structured environment. That is the major focus here. You have a
Oh,
structure already made. Perfect, sir. Thank you so much. So what do you mean by structure here? I mean, you. I mean, we are at home, right? Um, we usually speak in our own tongue, right? At home, if I am here putting up in Delhi, so I will be using my North Indian language here, right? Sometimes Hindi. I am Punjabi. I use Punjabi, right? English I hardly use. But when the child goes at school, the child will learn Hindi. The child will learn English as well. So it is also structured. It's not like the higher level thing I'm teaching first and the lower level things later. There is always a proper curriculum for the same. Then at home we are always those 5 6 people every time, around the child. But when the child goes to school, the child learns to speak with other children, the child learns to be social, right? The child learns to interact. When we say बच्चे को स्कूल भेज दो तो बच्चा बोलना सीख जाएगा, right? Sometimes the children have what they stay at home but they don't learn to speak. But when they go to school, they interact with others and they learn to speak and they speak also. छोटे बच्चों के साथ ऐसा भी होता है, right? That's why we say ना बच्चे को स्कूल डाल दो, हमें पढ़ाना नहीं है, बच्चे को बोलना सिखाना है. So what is all these things? It is just not the one development of the child, it is the overall development of the child. The child learns to be social, emotional, intellectual, every qualities that comes with the child with those with the school education only, right? Then it is also the healthy attitudes and the good values, right? Good values is not the job of the at home, that to be done at home, right? There are घर पे बच्चे को सिर्फ झूठ नहीं बोलना or what other things, right? Respect your elders, these things can be taught. But how to live in a society, right? There are a lot of people from the different backgrounds. How to adjust with them, how to accept them, how to make them listen, all these things, how to make them heard, how all these things the child learn in the school only. The aim and objectives are not uniform or all the stages of education. There are differences in aim and objectives of primary, secondary, and higher education due to the variance of age and maturity, experiences, physical, mental, and emotional growth of the child. Now, the major area of the objectives of the school education. Literacy. What is literacy? The language, right? The child, first of all, should start speaking in the mother tongue. Then they come to their regional language. Then they come to the other languages also. So this is also from the school education the child gains. Then comes the numeracy. Numeracy means the knowledge of the numbers, right? Numbers here doesn't mean only the counting. The numbers here means the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, everything they get to know from the school. How to solve their daily problems, right? They got to know from at the school only. Technocracy. We are living in a world of technology and we cannot deny that those people who says that कि मैं तो अपने बच्चे को मोबाइल नहीं देता हूँ, my child sees only for 1 hour. Please, I mean, this is the demand of the hour and everybody is putting their children into laptops, iPads, or mobile phones, right? So the children will learn these methods, how to, what happened in the science, what happened in the technology, with these things only. Nationalism, we always teach our children which is our national animal, national bird. So the respect they should do for their nation, they also learn it from school only. Human dignity, as I've already spoken about it. What is human dignity here? Respect for the others. Not nobody is bigger or smaller. Nobody is ahead of us. Whether if the children people are under the poverty line, we have to respect them also. If the people are having in such particular profession, that is also to be respected. Sanitary habits, right? We always talk about the activities we are doing on the hygiene and sanitation, that is also done. And aesthetic sense, what is aesthetic sense? Talking about the surroundings, right? Telling them about their nature, right? Telling them what is what is a beautiful thing, taking care of their surroundings. We always tell them to plant the trees and everything, right? But nowadays our children are actually, what I say is, they're not respecting their nature, they're not respecting their environment, or in despite of our all efforts, still they throw the garbage outside, they throw everything. So all these things that we have to inculcate in our children, this is only all about because of our school education only. So this is the just the normal thing. Now we are coming on to the curriculum. Reduction in curriculum is the part of NEP, promoting core essentials, critical thinking, interactive classes, experiential learning. What is experiential learning? Can anybody give me an example of experiential learning? Because this is the crucial add-on in NEP. What is what do you say experiential learning?
Ma'am,
Yes, please.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
experiential learning means learning by doing.
Learning by doing, perfect, right? Just not giving them the bookish knowledge, that rote learning. Tell them, open your books, take out page number this and do question number 5. Giving them first those experiments, how and why this happened. Because the students nowadays are so inquisitive, they always ask, ma'am, why? Ma'am, how? What is the benefit of it in our future? What will happen with this in the future? So all these questions to be answered at time, right? The time when we started, we hardly asked our teachers about it, right? We always said, okay, whatever teachers, or teacher is our god, so whatever teacher has taught us, we have taken up that only. But now the children are asking a lot. They say, ma'am, we have seen this in the YouTube, right? They have another sources also to research nowadays. You are not the only one now. So all these things, experiential learning, hand-on learning, giving them the experiments to do, all these things are very important. Then curriculum and pedagogy transformed by 2022. This was the aim. What is pedagogy? I want to ask. What is pedagogy?
Ma'am,
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, Purvi, ma'am.
uh, refers to our teaching method.
Yes, pedagogy means how you are going to teach. That is pedagogy. So that should be changed. By 2022 was the aim, that those thing methodology should be changed. It should be having the experiential learning. Your lesson plan that are you making, that should include the experiential learning part. You should have more of the activities, less of your books. So have we reached to it? Are we using more of the experiential learning? Have we changed our pedagogy? So give me the thumbs up if you have changed it. Or still we are using the old method.
Follow, ma'am.
Are you following? Yeah. Change. Everybody has not raised the hand. They are not given,
And
everybody has not given me the thumbs up. I mean, it's like you people are not listening. Yeah. Okay. Great. Perfect, sir. Thank you so much for your answer. Then focus on the learning outcomes, competencies, and subject integration. What is learning outcome? What do you mean by learning outcome?
Miss Jennifer, you want to say something? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Lipika ji, you can
Yeah, no
continue.
problem. Okay. So I would like to know, what is a learning outcome? We set some objectives and then we expect a learning outcome. What do you mean by that learning outcome?
ma'am, learning outcomes are clear goals of what students should know, understand, or be able to do after a lesson or a course,
Yes.
like what
Perfect.
they have learned and what they got about the chapter, lesson.
Yes, perfect, sir. Thank you so much. We set some objectives. We set some goals every time. Like in this chapter, like in photosynthesis chapter, my students should know about this, about the plants, about the process, entire process, everything, right? So, what is the learning outcome? That is my child able to do that? That is your learning outcome. And we should focus now not only on the objective but also on the learning outcomes. Subject integration. What is subject integration? Here, that we always think my English subject is important, my math subject is important, my science is important, my social science is important, right? But now what NEP says, it should be the art integration. All the subjects should come together. There should be one topic taken. You can teach from but one topic, maths also, art also, English also, science also. So this is the subject integration. Yes, ma'am. STEAM, you're talking correct, ma'am. Linking with the other subjects, right? Yeah. So it's not that my subject is important, art is not important. Earlier we used to say skip your art period and complete your work, but now no more art. Art is less important, right? Earlier it was STEM education, now it is STEAM education. Even in that also A is also added. Earlier it was science, technology, engineering and mathematics. Now it is science, technology, engineering, art and mathematics. So you can do everything, you can integrate everything, and you can teach the students. You can plan one activity and you can plan, teach with that one activity within all the subjects. Now, what was a mission mode by grade 3? I mean, what there was a mission. Always we have some objective, some goal we set up. They wanted that there should be the focus on the early reading, writing, and maths. After conducting the SAFL exams, there was a result outcome that the children cannot add and subtract after grade 3. Even I mean 3 or 4 or 5th class तक के बच्चों को addition, subtraction, those the what you say, numeracy knowledge, the children, they don't have it. They cannot read it properly, right? They cannot write properly. So that was a mission by grade 3. Rather than focusing on other things, they should be focusing on the early reading and writing and the maths, right? Play-based learning should be there. Yeah, the library should be strengthened at this time. Then it is, yeah, examination in grade 1 to 8. I have already heard the system. There was one policy that has been withdrawn now. Can anybody tell me about that exam policy? What was that? If the child flunk in the exam, what happened? Earlier, what policy we had? Can anybody tell me? What was the policy?
The dual
Yeah.
exam system which is introduced.
Yeah, there was a no detention policy. Just give me a second. Let me just switch on the light. Just one minute. Yeah. So what was the policy there? That you cannot detain the children, right? We were like, we have to pass the children at any cost. But now what the system has changed now completely. The students can be detained, right? It is again a new thing. Achievement of the critical loss, right? Assessment of the core concepts, high order skills, moving away from the rote learning. Earlier, our education system used to speak about the teacher centric, but now our system says it is learner centric, child centric. The children are in the center, and we have to revolve around everything. Whatever we are planning, it should be according to the child. We have to see the holistic development of the child also, right? It should be always be teaching the concept also, making them the global citizen also, imbibing the values also in the children. Everything should be there in the child. Now, Dr. Radhakrishnan said something. Our secondary education remains the weakest link in our education machinery and needs urgent reform. Secondary education means 9, 10th, 11th, 12th. Children, what happened in that period? Why that is a weakest link? I want to ask you people. You must have be having the more experience in that. Why it is a weakest link?
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am. Please tell
एक्चुअली
me.
उस दिन तो सबको ऐसे ही पास करवा दिया गया था, ताकि वो लोग एक ना एक क्लास अगर पढ़े या ना पढ़े, पेरेंट्स को भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं था, स्कूल को भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं था। लेकिन अब बच्चे बहुत सफर हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि उनको क्या है, कोई नॉलेज इतना नहीं है जितना अब उनको चाहिए।
Exactly, right. Yeah. Because the things are changed now. Earlier तो हमने उनको पास करा दिया. Ma'am said it very nicely, right? We wanted to make a result. Whatever we have given, they have done it and they cleared it. But when they go out, look for their jobs, look for something, they want to earn their livelihood, they are unable to do that because they don't have those skills, they don't have that type of education. So that's why it is important to have the good secondary education. Aims of the secondary education according to NEP is to bring all round development among the learners, to train the young mass of the country to be the good citizens who will be competent to play their part effectively in the social and economic development of the country. Then I'm reading the fifth point, to improve practical and vocational efficiency of the students. Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. Dr. Renuka, ma'am. You said it correct. I also wanted to mention that there are many hormonal changes also, and there are many distractions at that age. That's why the children cannot focus at that moment also, right? So, I mean, what else happens? What is the aim? Another aim to develop a improve the practical and the vocational efficiency of the students, to make at least if they are not trained in one skill, another skill should be there ready with them, in it should be there in their hand. They should, so that whenever they move out, they go in that competitive world, they should not feel like they are left over, they are rejected, right? To develop artistic and cultural interests which are essential for self expression and development of all round personality of the pupils, right? So now, this we have already done. Holistic development of the learners. We have already spoken about it, but I would like to see the second point here. The aim of education will not only be cognitive development. What is cognitive development here?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am. I would like to know.
Development refers to their logic thinking, critical thinking.
Yes, cognitive development talk about here, right? You are thinking logical, you're solving the problems, all these cognitive. But if it make the students only to solve the problems, they have the critical thinking, what will happen? They will become the robots. Like what happened? Robots, we put something and the output is coming that way only. What is the difference? They don't have having the personal touch. They don't know what are the values, they don't know what is the skills that are required, 21st century skills, the life skills that are required uh, for competing in the world. Mr. Narayan Murthy one mentioned, I always mention this in my sessions. Mr. Narayan Murthy mentioned that I have uh, n number of those candidates coming for the job. They are ITNs, they are, I mean, so skilled, they are everything they have, right? Whatever you ask them, and they are the top scorers once the but still I don't like their CVs. I don't like their biodatas. Why I don't like? Because they don't have those life skills. They don't love to work with others. They don't love to respect others. They are just one single centric, like my way and is the right way. But today's world is not like that. We have to respect others also, we have to listen others, and we have to make us also listen to others. So this is also very important skill that we need to inculcate in our students. Now here it is saying, empower students to flexibility in course choices. There is a third point given, there will be no hard separation among curricular, extracurricular, or co curricular among arts, humanities, and science, or between vocational or academic streams. Now, we do not have any name of curricular or co curricular activities. Everything is joined, everything is integrated, everything is combined, right? Subjects such as physical education, the art and craft, vocational skills, in addition to science, humanities, and mathematics, will be incorporated throughout the school curriculum with a consideration for what is interesting and safe at each age. So you cannot say just I will be taking up, this is a physical education subject only, this is the humanities stream only, you are a science student and you are taking physical education. No, you cannot say like this. There is nothing like this nowadays. It is all based on the choice and the interest of the students. What the child focus and what the child wants to be make the career in. Okay. Now, mental, physical health and well-being, very, 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 very important. If I'll say the most important part, right? You cannot just, we keep on focusing on the education and we keep on praising those who comes, on the top, who are always on the top. We keep on praising them, but we lose those ones also, those who are not, preparing or doing so well in the system. So we are not keeping thinking about the mental health of the people. Even we are also suffering from a bad mental health. Sometimes, we don't discuss, we don't talk, and हम बोलते हैं ना, हम अंदर ही अंदर क्या हो रहा है हमारे साथ, हम तो, we are keep filling ourselves inside. And one day, what happened? We blast it. Similarly, these things happen to school students also. Nowadays, we have special educators coping up with dealing with such these students also. Sometimes the students, they are so emotional. If you talk about my son, he's also like this. If I'll just scold him, if I'll say, don't do like this, he just starts crying. And what happened? Can you say such type of children, you know they will, what they will do, what they will do in the future? There are so many challenges that will be coming in the future. How they are going to cope up with them, those things. So mental and the physical health is the important thing. NEP doesn't say कि सिर्फ पढ़ाना ही है आपको, पढ़ाना है आपको, but you have to focus on the other zones also. Nowadays, this is also very important now, in the school, to put the sugar chart. Have you heard about it? In the CBSE, it was a CBSE circular also, that every school has to put a sugar chart. What is that sugar chart? हमें सबको पता है that in the soft drinks or the cold drinks, we have those high amount of sugar. In other drinks, in the fruities also, we give the children those, they are also having sugar. Still the children are taking it. The cases of diabetics, sir, thank you so much. The cases of diabetics are rising, like anyways. So how we are going to inform the children? With those boards only, the awareness will come, and one has to start. So why not from the schools? So health checkup for the children, we are, every school is conducting the health checkup, right? Reducing the weight of the school bags. Have you heard about the no bag days? CBSE, that is there in the CBSE circular. If you will see, there should be at least 6 to 7 no bag days in the entire session. 6 to 7 no bag days. That means here that on a Saturday, you tell the child not to carry any bag. What are you going to do on those days then? Those skill subjects, carpentry, pottery, right? Other bakery, all these things, right? Health and wellness mandatory skills. Keep on updating the child. Have the workshops in the school for the children. Keep guiding, speaking about this health and the mental. If the child is not speaking from so long, tell the child what is actually inside you. So all these things is the part of a teacher now. Focus on the children with disability. Right now, our students are having, every day we are coming up with so many things, right? This child has dyslexia, ADHD is there, or digraphia. All these problems are coming up. So what we should be there? We should be leaving the children, we should be saying that ye bacha kuch nahi kar sakta. No, right? If we'll start checking all the children, one or the other child out of 5 children, you will find 3 children with such disabilities now. It's so common. So what are we going to do? We have to focus on each children, and we should be giving them the inclusive environment. We should not be saying that you are good for nothing, right? Then we have the lesson plans. You and me, everybody is making a lesson plan. So according to CBSE and according to NEP, the lesson plan should be like this. It should be specific. Your lesson plan should be smart. That means it should be specific. It should be measurable. It's not that you have given something in the lesson plan and you cannot check whether it is attainable or not. It is can be done or not. How much you have done, how much your children have gained from it. A is attainable. It should be attained, relevant. It should not be for class 8 student, you are giving class 5 ka syllabus, and for class 5 student, you are giving class 9th ka activity. It should be balanced that way. It should be relevant. We have already spoken, and it should be time bound. If you have a 30 minutes period, your lesson plan should be, planned according to the time. It should not be left. Then we have already spoken about it. Innovative pedagogy should be there. Experiential learning. Your pedagogy should be integrated pedagogy. As I've already spoken, you should be integrating the subjects, topics, and then bagless days. I have already spoken about it, right? And promoting peer tutoring. I would like to focus on this part. Promoting peer tutoring. What do you mean by peer tutoring here?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
And peer tutoring refers when one student is teaching to the other, helping
Yes.
in teaching the concept.
Yes. Perfect.
Hello,
Like
ma'am.
sometimes the children
Yeah.
hesitate.
Actually,
Yeah,
yeah.
Rupa. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Peer teaching means here peer tutoring means actually I implemented it with one of my kids.
Okay.
Some kids will be there in the class which who is really perfect in writing and very quick in writing and very intelligent. So if
Yes.
we ask that kid to please, can you help out the slow learner or the slow writer? In
Yeah.
this way, first of all, the kids get habituated to the same age groups and they catch the points very easily than the teacher. And also, a good practice will be done to the kid who already practiced it.
Yes.
And in this way, they know how to teach others at that age
Okay.
itself.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
very well said, ma'am. Thank you
you.
so much. So what happened is sometimes the children also hesitate asking the teacher. So let's pair them, right? Make their groups. And tell if you have any problem, ask the other child, right? So this way, that's the benefit to both the children. One who doesn't know may learn it better way, and the other who knows it has a good revision and a hold on that concept, right? And will feel more confident about it. So this is the best technique that I feel like, right? Then the textbooks, we always focus on having the NCRT textbooks, right? And it should be, the rate of the school bag should be reduced. We should not be having those hefty and heavy books. It should be, there should be a proper library in the school. All the material should be available there. Now India's leadership on global horizons, right? We have to bring the coding also. Coding we inculcate from grade 6, 7, 8 in the middle group, if we'll talk about, right? So at this age, though, you can start coding, having coding in the schools, right? Inclusion of contemporary subjects like AI, demand of the time, design thinking, holistic health, environment education, global citizen education. All these things can be inculcated to make them the global citizens, right? Then if we are making them the global citizen, we should not be focusing on we should not only be focusing on the globe, making them global. They should be rooted. They should be rooted now to their culture, to their values, to their tribe. Because what happened, even I have been to the foreign lands, right? If we want to survive in any other country, I'm talking specifically about the European nations. If we want to survive, we have to speak in their own language only, in their language only, right? In their mother tongue. If we do not know, they will not accept us. But what happened in India, we give more weightage to English because we say this is the time demand of the time, and if somebody is not speaking in English, we say, okay, you don't know English, you know where you stand. So what is this motive now coming, bringing multilingualism in the society, bringing that regional languages in the society, bringing those mother tongue in the society? Because we want our children to be rooted. They are not aware of Sanskrit. They are not aware of the other Persian language. They are not aware of other our Hindi language or your regional language. They don't not aware of. They think English is their only, the source of moving out from anywhere. We should not be saying that they should not speak in English. They should, but they should be knowing their language as well, right? They should be knowing about their tribes. The children are not aware about their dances, their songs, their musical instruments. They're not aware. They are only aware of guitar nowadays because that is a trending one. They're not aware of the sitar, violin, tablas. Even they are not aware of the dances, the Kathak, Kuchipudi, Odissi, all these things they don't know, right? So we have to bring them closer to their culture as well. Then I would be liking you to take you to the holistic progress card. Holistic progress card is nothing. It is the overall development of the child. It is just not a one-page chart, a one-page card. As we used to have the card with the numbers only, that in the PT one the child has scored this much, and the half yearly the child has scored this much, and the other half yearly PTs the child has scored. This was the concept earlier. But now what the CBSE says to NEP, what has come here? No, it should be the overall development, how the child was eating, how was the child was behaving, how the child was interacting with the children, other peers, how the child was responding to those activities. Everything should be jotted down. This is what holistic progress cards speaks about. And this is not only the task of the teacher, the parent should also be incorporated into it. How the child is doing at home, the parents are going to respond to it, because parents always come and blame us that teacher has to keep the check that मैम आपने नहीं देखा है, मैम आपने नहीं रखा है, मैम इसमें तो कोई improvement नहीं है. Please, you also take some burden on your shoulders, right? So what we can tell the children, that they should tell the parents, okay, we are going to conduct this activity, let's be the part, you also come here, come in the school, right, with the permission of the school management, and let's engage the parents also on those activities. We have also spoken just now, before this I have spoken about the multilingual and power of language learning. So medium of instruction up till grade 5, it should always be, home, mother tongue, or the local language. The language of India, it should be the Ek Bharat and the Shresh Bharat thing has also come up. 3 language formula is very, 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 very important nowadays, and it is also very much trending nowadays. All classical language will also be given as an option. If the child wants to do any other language, the child should be given that as an option. It should not be that the teacher is not available, right? The Sanskrit knowledge system to be developed, right? Then empowering teachers, very important. The teachers, as it is mentioned, minimum 50 hours CPT annually. We are already doing it. Very important, right? More academic autonomy, right? Improving service environment for the teachers, right? Career growth within a single stage. Career growth here, what do you mean by career growth here? Monetary. What do you mean by career growth here? I would like to ask you people. Hello?
Career is what I understand, ma'am, is that they can plan for their future growth.
Yeah.
It is not a one-time or short-term thing, but it's that long-term, development and growth that they are aiming at.
Yeah. Yes. Here, career growth means, like with the trainings also, monetary also here, right? And if any other things to be added on, like many courses comes up with the government and anything, so the school should be promoting the teachers to go with that, those, right? Then it is vocational education, very important. Practice based curriculum, skill gap analysis, open distance learning, exposure, lok vidya, skill framework, vocational crafts, all these things to be incorporated. And I think all the schools nowadays are going with the vocational course, because this is made mandatory. The skill subjects are made mandatory by CBSE in most of the schools, right? Setting up of Parak. What is Parak, first of all? Performance assessment, review, and analysis of knowledge for holistic development. What happened in this one? Can anybody tell me what happens? We have already spoken about it. What happened in Parak 1? Can anybody, is this conducted in schools? Yeah, evaluation. Perfect. Can you please elaborate, Purvi ma'am, how the evaluation of a child happens in this Parak exam?
I don't know about Parak exam, ma'am,
Okay.
because I'm primary teacher. But
Okay.
at least I have attended so many workshops,
Uh-huh.
so I can tell it is an evaluation of a child.
Yes.
You teach the lesson.
Yes.
After that, check that how they are performing. You assess them. You can
Yes.
give your reviews.
Yes. This.
You can do
Uh,
analysis at how much
Yes.
they have. That's it.
Ma'am,
Achieved. Right.
Excuse me,
Right.
ma'am.
Yes.
ma'am,
Yes. Sir. Yes,
yeah.
please.
Actually,
Students learning.
I'm not aware of completely about the correct definition,
Uh-huh.
but in my school also, the analysis report was framed in such a way that the if it is a math subject means they mention few things under the math section, like for every subject, like how is the kid doing in one particular topic like numbers, or
Uh-huh.
in one particular topic like additions, in
Uh-huh.
one particular topic like subtractions, or how the progress is step by step. And that analysis report will be for 1 year,
Yes.
and wherein by because of our assessments like the monthly assessments, the term assessments,
Yes.
at
Yes.
that stage whichever chapter is done, they ask us to put a tick mark or do the analysis report. Is that the same?
Yes, yes. It is like
Ah,
this. We are checking the child, and about a particular concept, and then we are making assessment is done, and we are making an analysis, right? And we are going to check also whether the child is, I mean, able to understand, is the learning outcome is coming or not coming. Are we able to achieve our objectives or not? So this is majorly about the PERC exam.
yes.
Support for the gifted students, as we have already spoken about it, right? They should be given some support. Gifted students, they should not be left behind. Right to education should be for everybody. It should not that they are the gifted student, they should be left over. So there are many olympiads and competitions are done, right? The trainings are given to the teachers also, and there are many special educators. I think all the schools are hiring the special educators now, right? For such students, for guiding them, for motivating them for doing further. And then extensive use of technology should be used at this part, right? And at the end, I would like to say, the policy according to the government, it should be fully operational by 2040, but we are keeping our fingers crossed, because still we are, there's very less awareness about NEP. Like, you people are already aware, like we have 60 people in this workshop, so 60 people are aware of NEP, but just with the 60 people it will not work, right? So we are, the government is also working very hard, CBSE and all the people are working very hard. So what we have to do is, we also have to work hard. Now we have to teach everybody. So everybody will jot down in the chat box, as this was the last slide. You have to tell out, what is NAP all about? You have to write down, what is it only about the vocational education? Is it all really about the early childhood education inclusion? What is all about? So just write down the points in the chat box quickly, and then we will end up our session. Okay. Only the holistic development of the child. NEP includes what all? NEP includes 5 plus 3 plus 3 4 plus 4 policy. It includes the vocational training. It includes the HPC. It includes the inclusive education. It includes the training of the teachers. Yes. Right. And we have to prepare the students for the 21st century skills. We have to prepare the students for the 21st century world, right? So thank you so much. That's all from my side for today's NEP session. I hope it was fruitful for all of you. You must have gained some insight about NEP. Thank you so much. Over to ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Lipika ji. Thank you for your time and efforts. Any questions from anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Purvi ji, please.
Ma'am, I want to ask that in one slide you have shown that reduction of a curriculum.
Yes.
But in reality, if I tell you, after Corona, we
Yeah.
are following the activities,
Yeah.
experiential,
Yes.
everything, but
Yes.
not see any reduction in curriculum. Means day by day it increasing, nothing is
I
reducing.
totally agree with
Actually they are interlinking these the topics with the other subjects. This is what I understand here. Reduction in the curriculum here doesn't mean that they are skipping out the topics and all, right? Reduction in the concept here means that they are linking the topics with all the other subjects also. So with that reduction in the curriculum, not that they are skipping up the topics, right? Whatever is relevant for some age group, that should be there, and that the child should be learning it, right? And even we also have to teach it, right? Yes, Supripa ma'am.
Start school.
I think,
Uh,
Lipika ma'am, Purvi ma'am, I think reduction in the curriculum means that, not all uh, lessons that are given in a book carry the same weightage, right? So how you can reduce the curriculum is if you see that two, three topics, two, three lessons are on the similar topic or theme, so you can club these and take them together. Right. So
Yes.
what happens is the effort that you're putting on in every individual lesson that reduces considerably. Plus, there are certain lessons which the children just need to have a knowledge. You don't need to take it as a detailed lesson. So you can, do it as a good to know chapter. So
Yes.
these things come into the pre-preparation when you are marking your and making your lesson plans and planning your syllabus. During that time only, you can do this, categorization of lessons. I think that
Yes.
is what you
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can
basically.
merge
the
the topics. It's just not
the interlinking of the topics, like for example, the data handling will be seen in science well as in maths. So the data handling topic will be revised or combined in both the subjects.
yeah.
Yeah, like many topics are there. I'm just talking about only one topic about the data handling, because we deal it with school people. They say that, ma'am, already we learned in this subject, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what is the reduction in the curriculum. Reduction
Purviji,
in
is
the
it
curriculum
fine with
doesn't mean
you?
skipping other topic.
hello, ma'am.
Yeah, Purviji, is it okay?
मैम नहीं मैं इससे बोल रही हूँ जैसे कि वी आर प्री प्राइमरी टीचर्स तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी आर हैविंग ओनली वर्क बुक्स इन वर्क बुक्स दे वर राइटिंग नाउ विथ वर्क बुक्स दे हैव गिवन अस notebooks also so while thinking from the mind of a child so much it becomes stressful with the activities we are having 3.5 मीन 3.5 घंटे बच्चे होते हैं हमारे पास उसमें एक्टिविटीज भी करवाओ फिर म्यूजिक पीरियड होता है स्पोकन इंग्लिश होता है और मतलब होमवर्क भी अगर देखने जाए तो बच्चे के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से होमवर्क भी ज्यादा हो जाता है तो मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता है कहीं पे भी कि इट हैज बीन रिड्यूस्ड
The book choices are with us. Yeah, book choices are like if you are choosing a book along with this, there is a another book also. Then obviously, what we can decide on one book only that we can do along with
It
our
depends on the
activity.
publishers of also, na, which
Yes,
publisher you are
yes, because
taking. Yeah.
that lies
No,
on
no,
our
I can, Lipika ma'am, I can understand Purvi ma'am's, pain
Concern,
because,
what she wants to say.
because it happens that many schools, many schools, they go by the parents' wishes. So they
Exactly.
introduce that notebooks also. So what you can do is that you can give it as a weekend homework kind of a thing. You can use the notebooks there because workbooks are very systematically structured. So we
yes.
should not skip the workbook. But yes, notebook is in our hands, so we can do it and on weekends. That is how you can plan it like that.
Actually, these all are the notebooks, textbook, workbooks is common in any curriculum. But the thing is nowadays, this abacus, Vedic maths, and along with Olympiad, IIT, many books are adding to the kids. The parents are also getting, ma'am, how many books he will read for one subject, ma'am?
We
Yeah.
understand, but we have to, some way we have to plan such way in plan in such a way that everything can be done or little can be done from all the things, but we have to see the major thing. What is most important should be done first and as a priority only. And we have
Priority
to guide
basis, yeah.
we have to guide the parents also, and we have to make the management also understand about the same thing, right?
Exactly,
It's
ma'am.
just not like we are taking up it as a burden, and we are putting the burden on the children also,
The
right? We
thing
have
is
to
the
make everything
teachers are
understand
getting
and
pissed
talk
off
in
in
advance to the
between.
management.
The
And parents
teachers,
also, as NEP also says, include parents in every partner. So just if you are having the like Sutopa ma'am mentioned, so what we can do is you can give some work as home also, right? Like Saturday, Sundays, usually the primary school have them off, right? So you can give a little work on that day for the Saturday and Sunday only. So this is how you can, deal with it. Might be, right?
Yeah.
ma'am,
Okay.
can
Okay,
we
Lipika
have
ji, I
any
think
other
all have
workshop?
asked their questions.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah,
we have
Rupa
any
ji,
such? Yeah. Can we have any such workshops where, means this is a common problem of every teacher that how to handle too many things at a time, and I don't know. I'm just
we
thinking,
will
being a
plan something
teacher,
like that also.
how to compensate between these many books,
Yeah.
not the
How to deal
parents or
extra
students.
pressure.
Teachers
Yeah.
are taking a lot of pressure of
Yeah,
completion.
we will plan a workshop on this also.
Okay.
Yeah, Lipika ji, thank you for time and your time and efforts. This
Thank
is really a very good webinar and a very good PPT you have presented.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us.
Okay. Thank you
you,
so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you, Lipika.
Bye bye.